Today I'm making Tulumba dessert. It's kind of churros but with sherbet. So it's gonna be crispy outside and juicy soft inside. We are starting with sherbet because we are gonna need this cold while we are making the dessert. For the sherbet, I have 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of water. As you can see, it's gonna be a thick sherbet. So while Tulumba soaks it, it's not gonna be runny, it's not gonna lose its texture. It remains crispy. The important key is like dissolve the sugar before water boils so that it's not gonna crystallize after cold. I always thought that churros and Tulumba are relatives. I don't know, because it's a choux pastry which almost all of us know. Ours with sherbet and churros is without sherbet. We also have cakes like that. For example, you have cake, but when it comes to here, we add sherbet on it and it becomes revani. It's basically a cake with sherbet. So I was always thinking that they are relatives, but I couldn't find any relation. Like I always read they found separately. Even if the case is like that, we can say great minds think alike. Because like frying a dough and adding sugar is always a good idea. Sherbet started to boil and it's become transparent. Now I'm gonna add just a teaspoon of lemon juice. It's gonna stabilize the sherbet as well. Then transfer it to the smallest burner on low heat. It's gonna simmer for 5 minutes. Then we're gonna set aside to cool down. Now I'm making the choux pastry. I have a tablespoon of butter and a cup of water. Adding 1 tablespoon sugar into it and a pinch of salt. Sherbet is ready, so I'm giving it to Osman so he can cool it down. On here, butter has melted and you can see the small bubbles. It's on low heat and I'm adding the flour. I have 140 grams of flour. You can also see the cup measurements in description part. Now mixing the flour with butter and water. Pressing with the spatula so every part of flour can get wet because still you can see some white parts. We shouldn't have that. While doing this, I'm also cooking the flour a bit. It can give more deeper taste. You can always a bit brown as well. If your spatula very soft, it wouldn't work in here. You can always use a wooden spatula like this. It has been like 4 minutes and as you can see, the dough is perfectly smooth. Then take it on the counter. And if you have a marble one like me, it's better because we are gonna cool down the dough on here so we can add the egg and other ingredients and not cook them. First I spread. Let it sit for half a minute, then mix again. And once in a while, I check if it's cold or not. No, it's not. Now I can touch it. It doesn't feel hot. I'm making a hole in the middle so I can add my ingredients. The odd thing about this recipe, we need 1.5 egg. So it's 70 grams. Because it's dessert, it's better to stick on measurements because if it becomes runny, you can't give the shape. If you find a very large egg, you can use 1 as well. I add, I guess, 1.5 egg, but you can always feel the texture and add a bit more later. 1.5 tablespoon starch, any starch works, and 1.5 tablespoon of semolina. Our semolina is more like bulgur. If yours is like flour, you can use that as well. 1.5. And half teaspoon vinegar. Vinegar it's a bit more crispy. Like when you bite it, it's gonna give like a sand-like texture. Semolina is also kind of like it because they are bigger pieces. They will give crispiness. Now with my scraper, I just cut it and fold it. Cut it and fold it. First, it's gonna look like this, like a mess. But if you be patient and continue, it's gonna homogenize. You can also use a hand mixer or stand mixer as well. But don't mix it too much. It's become gooey and sticky and we don't want that. As you can see, now it's sticky but a hard dough. I need a piping bag, which is here. And I'm gonna use the largest star tip because they need to be thick. If they are thin, you can't get the soft inside, just the crispy outside. That's why we are using the largest one. Put it in here. Transfer the dough into the piping bag. Because it's thick, you can do this. And hopefully it's not gonna explode because I think my dough is harder than the piping bag. Now it's ready. Another important thing about this recipe is cold frying. We are gonna cold fry this dough so that they can cook slowly. Their outside can get crispier and crispier. It's gonna help us, for example, the next day while it's sitting in sherbet, it's not gonna get softened, it's gonna stay crispy for days. I have sunflower oil here, but you can use any frying oil as well. First, I twist and squeeze with my hand so dough gets out. Then I take my scissors and dip into oil so it doesn't stick to dough. And when it's for 5 centimeters, I cut it. As you can see, there are no bubbles. There is no any sign that it's cooking. But slowly, while I cut pieces, it's gonna heat and cook. As I'm making the last couple of them, it started to bubble. From then, again on medium-low heat, we're gonna fry them until they are golden brown. It has been 17 minutes. It was always on low heat, and as you can see, they are golden brown, and I don't know if you can hear, but they sound like empty inside. That's something we like. I have my sherbet. It's cold because it needs to be cold. Always when you are making a dessert with sherbet, either sherbet or the dough, one of them should be cold and one of them should be hot. So the dough doesn't soften. It's the key point for that. Cold sherbet, hot tulumba, just shake it off and then put it into the sherbet. Of course, mix. It has a delicate sound. All of them are in the sherbet and I'm gently mixing it so each of them can soak the sherbet. They are starting to shine and bright. Okay, let's try one to see if they are ready. Tulumba is ready, and the word Tulumba means water pump. Like we have the old days, because we are like kind of pumping the dough, the name comes from that. I want to demonstrate one for you. Perfect. But while eating, if you press on your palate with your tongue, all the sherbet comes out of it. It's another journey for eating tulumba. I hope you liked it. Please don't forget to subscribe and like, and if you write a comment for me, that will be great. See you soon. Bye bye.